Here are the 10 fundamentals that an effective law firm CEO must know. Not a lawyer, an effective law firm CEO. And if you hope to build a substantial, valuable law firm, you should become a CEO of your law firm and you should know these things. First thing is your business will grow as large as you grow as a leader. You must develop business acumen and leadership skills. This is what you're here for. By watching all of these videos, you are developing a business acumen focusing on your law firm. You can take leadership courses that will help you become a better leader, or if you realize that you do not want to be in a leadership role, but you develop business acumen, you can start looking for your number two who is going to be in a leadership position helping you build a business. That's right. You can be the principal of your business, of your law firm, but you do not have to be the CEO of that business. Imagine this, major shareholders of large publicly traded companies do not necessarily operate those businesses. They don't have to. They hire CEOs who effectively do it for them. So you will need to decide whether you're a good enough leader and if you want that role. And then if you do, you will become the CEO who is going to be an effective leader. But for that, you have to study both leadership and business acumen. The second fundamental that you must know is that business is a sport. The best teams win in the sport. And the way you win is by creating the most valuable company that you can. How do you know its value? Well, you can get an annual valuation report from a specialist that specializes in mergers and acquisitions in the legal space. You can also look at your balance sheet year after year. Your assets in the business should also be rising. Should you choose to keep those assets in the business. But the best way to really estimate whether you're building a valuable company and whether you're winning in the sport is by getting valuations for your firm. The way you get valuation, or the way you can think about valuation is, well, mergers and acquisitions specialist or an expert would focus on the things like, what is your growth rate? How quickly are you growing the top line, your revenue? What is your profitability level? What percentage of that revenue ends up being a pre-tax profit? How many niches do you cover? And what is your turnover in the business? All of those factors are important factors for an M&A professional when they're assessing valuation of your business. The third fundamental is you have to focus on the big picture. You as a leader cannot be bogged down by small details. You have to look at the big picture and you have to understand what is a big picture. Big picture are key success factors for every one of your departments. And those departments are marketing, that brings in prospective clients, sales, where attorneys convert prospective clients into paying clients, operations, where your team, your legal team, delivers legal services, HR, which is responsible for recruiting the right people, hiring them, training them, assuring that they perform to the standards according to the standard operating procedures, and that they improve their skill level over time. All of those things can be measured effectively. And finally, those employees that are not right for your business should go and work for your competition as fast as humanly possible. Let them damage things there rather than at your firm. The fourth principle is managing versus doing. You should be managing, you should be leading, not doing. You need to step outside of your comfort zone and know that if you want to build a substantial law firm that generates substantial income for you, passive income for you, where you can step out and not operate the business every single day, for you to do this, you need to delegate. And the fifth principle is that for you to delegate, you need to build a great team, as in hire the best people and let them do their work. Do not interfere. Do not micromanage. You want to focus on the big picture. Remember, there's no room for micromanaging. You want them to report on agreed upon metrics. You want the information, the data that they supply to you in their reports to be verifiable and accurate, as in do not trust people when they just give you data and here's the picture. Make sure that they substantiate the reports that they give you, all of the data, with verifiable information. Here's where I got the information from, here's why it's correct. The sixth one is demand concrete, accurate, and comparable data, as I just mentioned. It is super important. It is so easy to skip a month or a quarter or a year not get all the data that you need in order to make good decisions. To make good decisions in business, you have to have reliable, verifiable data. That's why you have to demand from all of your subordinates that they report to you correct and verifiable and timely data. Super important. The seventh principle is do not just look at the data, analyze. Analysis is important. You want to look at the result, or not the result, you want to look at the goals that you set, the plans that are implemented, the actions that are being taken, and the results. When you analyze all of those things, in time, you will start seeing trends. And as you start seeing trends and you see all the data, you will be able, together with your team, make better decisions for all of your key success factors to improve. Super important. The eighth fundamental is you have to understand the 4 financial statements that are ruling your business. The 4 financial statements are profit and loss statement or income statement that shows you the revenues that you brought in and the expenses that you had and the net profit at the bottom. The second one is balance sheet that shows you the assets that you have in the business. Typically for law firms, it's primarily the cash that you have in the business because your desks and your computers and your fixtures are not worth very much. So you really focus on the financial assets. The second section of the balance sheet is liabilities, short-term and long-term liabilities. Short-term liabilities could be some revolving debt like credit cards or lines of credit. Long-term liabilities could be major outstanding loans. Also, short-term liability would be like payroll liability when you have collected payroll taxes from your employees' paychecks but have not paid them to the IRS yet. Hopefully, you have a system like QuickBooks Payroll that does that for you automatically, and you're not spending money on an accounting firm or, God forbid, CPA to do that for you because that's expensive and unnecessary. You can automate it through software like QuickBooks Payroll. The third statement is, and I just mentioned, there is profit and loss, there is balance sheet. The third statement that you need to understand is the statement of cash flows. It simply shows you how much money came in and where money went over a period of time that you specify in that statement. Super important. And the fourth statement is the accounts receivables aging statement. It shows you how much money different clients owe you and how long has it been since you issued an invoice and they haven't paid you yet. Ultimately, you want your clients to pay you as fast as humanly possible. Preferably, you just charge their credit card once they get the invoice. Because many attorneys cannot do it, you have to issue invoices and wait for the check. Such a nightmare. You want to establish expectations with your clients beforehand and say that it is my expectation that you will pay your invoice online. I will send you an invoice with a secure link where you can make that payment within 5 business days, for example. Right? Super important. All 4 statements for you to understand and review them on periodic basis. Let's say once a month is incredibly important. Collect that data and review it over month, over quarter, over year, compared to previous periods to better understand whether your business is moving in the right direction, stagnating, or moving in the wrong direction. Super important. The next fundamental that you absolutely must familiarize yourself with is study what you must be good at. There are 2 things that you absolutely, as a CEO of your firm, have to be good at. And one is management, and another one is people. Notice I didn't say law, because as a CEO of a law firm, you do not have to be good at law. You have to be good at management and people. Study both, read books, attend webinars, seminars, do whatever you have to do, participate or watch videos on this academy. Do everything that you got to do to develop acumen in both management or business and people. The better you understand and operate with both, the bigger and more successful your business is going to become. Last, the 10th fundamental, super important, is study core areas that you must outsource. Remember, you will not outsource management unless you actually decide to install a CEO who is going to operate and grow your law firm instead of you. And you're not going to outsource people. If you are going to be the CEO of your law firm, you have to get good at people. Make sure that you encourage them. Make sure that you bring in the right people. Make sure that they do the things that they need to do when they need to do them without you telling them. So many different things that you have to know to become good at people in order to build a large or at least substantial and very valuable law firm. Now, the core areas that you need to study that you're going to outsource are this: marketing. You're not going to do marketing yourself, God forbid. It's very complex. It takes a lot of people. So when my firm works for law firms, a typical account team for a law firm is 5 to 8 experts in different fields. There's SEO, there's pay-per-click, there's social media, there is reputation management, and so many other things. That's why we have so many people involved in working on your accounts. You do not need to become an expert in marketing, but you need to understand fundamentals of marketing, which I am going to cover in the next videos. You need to understand the fundamentals of sales. Super important. You will be investing money into acquiring leads, prospective clients. Sales is what's responsible for converting those prospective clients into actually paying clients. You need to understand fundamentals of sales so that you maximize that conversion rate. When you maximize that conversion rate, you lower client acquisition cost. The less you spend on acquiring each client, the more money you can reinvest into marketing to get more prospective clients and thus grow your business. So you need to understand sales. You need to understand HR, that goes without a saying. You need to understand the financials. All of these things, you need to understand them, but you do not have to become a practicing expert. You just need to understand them well enough to hire the people, whether internal people or external people and teams, that you understand what they're delivering to you and whether it's moving in the right direction, stagnating, or in the wrong direction. You learn all of those things over time. None of this is going to happen overnight. So this is a commitment that you make to your future self, to your future law firm, and to the future of your family, as when you learn and understand all of those things, you're going to be able to build a bigger, more profitable, more valuable law firm, which will allow you to have a lifestyle that you want, pointed toward an exit at some point when you will sell your law firm for substantial profit and will be able to either retire or invest into other business ventures. So stay here, continue learning, continue developing your business acumen. Look for other sources of information. In the future videos, I will be making some recommendations as to what other sources provide great information for lawyers so that you can continue developing your business acumen, your people skills, and get to the point where you become a fantastic CEO of your law firm.